Hare Krishna Mataji, Prabhuji has not joined yet, so we can have more introductions.
Yes, Mataji. Anybody would like to introduce more?
Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all Krishna Bhagavatham, all Krishna Bhagavatham, all Krishna Holy. This is Mohini Lakshmi from Detroit.
Hare Krishna Mohini Lakshmi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all goes to Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Radhika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. This is Vasavi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna Vasavi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all goes to Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Radha Damodar Das and Atmamaya from Austin, Texas. Please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to all the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Radha Damodar Prabhuji and Atma Maya Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All goes to Srila Prabhupada, all goes to Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much, Mataji and Prabhuji, for joining. Hare Krishna. Anybody more want to introduce themselves?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandot pranams to you and all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. This is Lalitangi Radha Devi Dasi.
Hare Krishna Lalitangi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All goes to Srila Prabhupada, all goes to Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Radhika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Guru Maharaj, Prabhupada and all the devotees. Hare Krishna, this is Gomati Kitasi from Baltimore.
Hare Krishna Kamadiki Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All goes to Srila Prabhupada, all goes to Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Brajmohan Das. Sorry for the delay. Very happy to be here.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. All goes to Srila Prabhupada, all goes to Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for joining. Mataji, recording is started. Once again, thank you everyone for joining the call today, and I welcome all of you to the Bhakti Sangha conference call. Let us move to our next session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class.
Just give me 2 minutes. I'm just setting up my things.
Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Raj Mohan Prabhuji on the topic Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 29th chapter, 61st verse. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. All goes to Srila Prabhupada, all goes to Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for giving your very valuable time and association to us this morning. I would like to hand over the call to you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. I'm not able to start the video. Just trying to see where is the problem. Okay. Just 2 minutes more.
Sure, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay. Hare Krishna. So we'll begin now.
Sure, Prabhuji.
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, chapter 29, talks between Narada Muni and King Prachine Bari, text number 61. Shayanam imam usrijya swashantam purusho yatha karmatmani ahitam bhunkte tadrishene tarena va. Shayana, lying down on a bed, imam, this body, usrijya, after giving up, swashantam, breathing, purusha, the living entity, yatha, as, karma, activity, atmani, in the mind, ahitam, executed, bhunkte, enjoys, tadrishena, by a similar body, itarena, by a different body, va, or. Translation: the living entity, while dreaming, gives up the actual living body. Through the activities of his mind and intelligence, he acts in another body either as a god or a dog. After giving up this gross body, the living entity enters either an animal body or a demigod's body on this planet or on another planet. He thus enjoys the results of the actions of his past life. Big purport, so we'll read fully. Although the root of distress and happiness is the mind, intelligence, and ego, a gross body is still required as an instrument for enjoyment. The gross body may change, but the subtle body continues to act. Unless the living entity gets another gross body, he will have to continue in a subtle body or a ghostly body. One becomes a ghost when the subtle body acts without the help of the instrumental gross body. As stated in this verse, Shayanam imusrijya swashantam. The gross body may lie on a bed and rest, and even though the machinery of the gross body is working, the living entity may go into a dream and return to the gross body. When he returns to the body, he forgets his dream. Similarly, when the living entity takes on another gross body, he forgets the present gross body. The conclusion is that the subtle body, mind, intelligence, and ego creates an atmosphere with desires and ambitions that the living entity enjoys in the subtle body. Actually, the living entity is in the subtle body even though the gross body apparently changes, and even though he inhabits the gross body on various planets. All the activities performed by the living entity in the subtle body are called illusory because they are not permanent. Liberation means getting out of the clutches of the subtle body. Liberation from the gross body simply involves the transmigration of the soul from one gross body to another. When the mind is educated in Krishna consciousness or higher consciousness, in the mode of goodness, one is transferred either to the upper heavenly planets or to the spiritual world, the Vaikuntha planets. One therefore has to change his consciousness by cultivating knowledge received from Vedic instructions from the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the disciplic succession. If we train the subtle body in this life by always thinking about Krishna, we will transfer to Krishna Loka after leaving the gross body. This is confirmed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvata tyaktva deha punarjanma naiti mameti so arjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Bhagavad Gita 4.9. Thus, the change of the gross body is not very important, but the change of the subtle body is important. The Krishna consciousness movement is educating people to enlighten the subtle body. The perfect example in this regard is Ambarish Maharaj, who is always engaged his mind on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Savai mana Krishna padaravindayo. Similarly, in this life, we should always fix our mind on the lotus feet of Krishna, who is present in his Archa Vigraha, the incarnation of the deity in the temple. We should also always engage in his worship. If we engage our speech in describing the activities of the Lord and our ears in hearing about his pastimes, and if we follow the regulative principles to keep the mind intact for advancing in Krishna consciousness, we shall certainly be elevated to the spiritual platform. Then at the time of death, the mind, intelligence and ego will no longer be materially contaminated. The living entity is present and the mind, intelligence and ego are also present. When the mind, intelligence and ego are purified, all the active senses of the living entity become spiritual. Thus the living entity attains his Satchidananda form. The Supreme Lord is always in his Satchidananda form, but the living entity, although part and parcel of the Lord, becomes materially contaminated when it desires to come to the material world for material enjoyment. The prescription for returning home back to Godhead is given by Lord Himself in the Bhagavad Gita 9.34. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi yuktaivam atmanam matparayana. Always think of me, become my devotee. Worship me and offer your homage unto me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा गदामह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, welcome all the devotees on the Bhakti Sangha conference call. I see there are around 36 devotees that have come on Zoom, mostly devotees from United States, as a auspicious beginning to their morning by hearing the beautiful message of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So I feel very honored to be amidst all the sincere devotees that have been doing the morning program and following the principles of bhakti in spite of all difficulties that the Kali Yuga and current situation poses. and also hope and wish that all the devotees are safe and sound in their health, in their Krishna consciousness amidst this crisis. And this is a beautiful verse that Narad Muni is preaching to Prachini Bari in trying to awaken him to his true Krishna consciousness, to his true consciousness, that is to be a servant of Krishna, a soul that can only find happiness and pleasure only in its connection with the Supreme Lord. And here he is giving an example of something that we all experience day to day. And the first point that I was reflecting was that this is how a preacher tries to share the message of Krishna consciousness, is by giving examples that a person can relate on any level. Like when Srila Prabhupada was asked that Swamiji, what is the spiritual world like? Now instead of saying it is Chintamani Prakarasadma Shukal Pariksha Laksha Vriteshu Surabhirabhipalayantam. The beautiful Brahma Samhita describes the spiritual world and the material world. Instead of saying that, Srila Prabhupada, he just said the spiritual world is an ocean of LSD. And this is not the exact description of the spiritual world. There is no drugs that are there in the spiritual world. But the person to whom Prabhupada was replying was at a stage in his consciousness that he could best get a glimpse or an idea of what is a spiritual world like when that example an analogy or comparison is made with what he is used to, what he is familiar with. And because he is familiar with LSD, and LSD is very you get little and then there is you got to hanker for more and more. So therefore Prabhupada said spiritual world is an ocean of LSD. And so same way Sripad Narada Muni is giving a very day-to-day example that we all experience, that is of sleep. Now in this, that's what he's saying, Shayana Imam Usrija. So when we lie down on the bed, now we swashantam, we wake up in some other body, we wake up Usrija, we wake up in some other body. And Prabhupada, that's what Prabhupada says, the living entity while dreaming gives up the actual body through the activities of his mind and intelligence. He acts in another body either as a god or a dog. After giving up this gross body, the living entity enters either an animal body or a demigod's body on this planet or on another planet. He thus enjoys the results of the actions of his past life. So karman atmani ahitam bhukte tadrishen atarenava. So all those dreams that we get, they are just reflections or visits to what all impressions are there in our subconsciousness, in our consciousness. And when the outside environment is dulled, then the mind starts to dream and start to reflect on all those impressions that it had collected in the previous times, in his previous lives. And therefore this theory of karma, which is a very fascinating theory, something where just recently I was doing a whole session for new people called as karmatronics, and trying to explain karma in modern language. And scientifically the theory of karma is very close to what the scientists are trying to meddle with this quantum physics, where there is so many probabilities, and how do you predict what is going to happen in the future. And in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, the theory of karma is brilliantly explained. And Yajnavalkya, he explains to in the fourth skanda of this Upanishad, that yata kari yatachari tato bhavati, tata bhavati. So there's a whole description of karma, and he says that yatakari, that as you akari, as you form yourself, and yatachari, and as you move yourself, tata bhavati, that's what you become. And I had heard a few years back a nice story about this. Once in a village, there was a newlywed lady. For it was in a royal house, so she was not very much exposed to the outside public, and her daily duty was to cook the food and feed it to her family members. So one day her father-in-law, he was taking the meals in the veranda, in the balcony, and as he was taking the meals in the veranda, in the balcony, a beggar had approaches for some food, for some something, bhavati bhiksham dehi. And as the father-in-law is eating his meals, the daughter-in-law was in confusion. What should I do? Because usually when beggars ask from people, then they deny. They say they don't have anything. But sometimes when you are in the car and you are eating something, and that time somebody approaches. This is very common in India. Somebody approaches asking for some food or something, to give something. Now as you are eating something, it is very difficult to deny that I don't have anything to eat, because the whole thing is in front of you. Or it happens in trains many times, that you are having your nice meal and then somebody comes to ask for food. So same way here, she cannot outright deny that there is no food, because she is just serving the food, and but she didn't want to give the food. So she just said that this is yesterday's food, do you want it? And as soon as the beggar heard this is yesterday's food, he immediately said, oh no, I don't want yesterday's food, and he went off. And so this way she avoided giving this food to that beggar. But more trouble happened with the father-in-law. The father-in-law was now upset that the daughter-in-law, she didn't even inform him that the food that he was eating was actually yesterday's. Of course, in modern days, what to speak of yesterday's, sometimes people eat last week's food or last month's food or last year's food. I heard in this the recent the Thanksgiving that is coming up, there's so many turkey animals that are killed in West, that sometimes these turkey birds are as old as at least 6 to 7 years, because they are kept in the deep freezer, because once in a year there is such a huge demand, and everybody in the West buys turkeys for the Thanksgiving. Very strange that to say thanks you have to actually kill a living entity and feed on it. And one devotee was saying that who knows that the person who was the turkey had now become a human being that is eating the turkey, or it can be that the human being that was that died has become the turkey and that has been killed, and now he is being eaten by his family members. So imagine 5-6 years old food that someone is eating. So usually it's not a tradition in India, or in if you want to keep healthy, you have to eat fresh food. The fresher the food is, more the prana is there, the life energy, the vitality of the food still exists, and the more it gets old. Only honey increases its prana the more it gets old, but everything else has to be taken fresh. So he was very offended, because he was from a royal family, and never in his life has he been served yesterday's food. And he immediately asked that, okay, you are serving me yesterday's food, but at least you should have told me that this is yesterday's food. Sometimes it happens that, okay, there is nothing to serve, so you serve yesterday's, but you convey, like in our temple, Some very rarely do is prasadam left in the evening. And before this lockdown, we used to go out to Babulnath or nearby temples or nearby places where beggars sit, and we used to distribute that prasad. We make everything that is remaining into like a khichdi, and then we go out and serve. But now we cannot go anywhere, so if so that remaining food that from yesterday, they usually make that into some kind of, they put some chance into it and they make something new. Of course, there is also the other option, that freshly cooked breakfast, say rice noodles or say tomato rice or something is there, and it is always known that what is yesterday's, what is today's, and it is up to you, up to the devotees, which one they want to take. So here the father-in-law got really upset that why is she serving me yesterday's food, and he went and he expressed his disappointment. Of course he stopped eating that food, and he got up and then he went and complained to the village heads, and he said that this daughter-in-law, she has no respect for me. In fact, without telling me, she is feeding old food, pale food, so I don't want her to be staying anymore with me. Either remove her from this village or give her some punishment. And all the villagers, especially the village heads, they were kind of bit surprised at this daughter-in-law's behavior, because she was a very well mannered lady, and of course she was a very devoted lady. She was always helping. So nobody knew why she did what she did. So just to clarify, the villagers heads also asked the lady, do you have something to say from your side for the kind of insult or act that you did? And usually when we have to take a decision, it's always better to hear from the both sides, because very often things are misunderstood, or they are not even seen the way the other person intends or has said. So therefore, whenever we take a decision, it's said that you have to hear from both sides, and then you will get a realistic picture. So here they wanted to hear from this young lady, and she presented, and then she said, the food that I served my father-in-law was not actually cooked yesterday. Then this was a surprise to everyone, that then why did you say it is yesterday's food? And she said that I have been a very devoted lady and being very religious all through, but when I came to this home, I saw that although it is a very opulent home, nobody really is worshipping the Lord, is having any kind of respect or devotion. So I wanted to teach a lesson to my elders, but out of etiquette I could not directly teach, and therefore I used this tactic to tell this beggar that this was yesterday's food. And what I meant was that all that we are enjoying today is produced yesterday, or is a result of what we did yesterday or in our past. So everything that we have currently, the laptop or the mobile that you are seeing through, or the food that we have on our plates, or the house that we are living, is all yesterday's food, because we earned it yesterday, and because we earned it yesterday, today we are enjoying. But if we don't earn today, and if we just waste our time enjoying all the gifts, all the things that we have, then what will happen? For tomorrow we won't have food, because there won't be any more left yesterday's food. And same with the way we are treating Mother Earth, that the way Mother Earth is today is because of how it was treated till yesterday. And if you don't treat her well, then for tomorrow's generation there won't be either proper water or proper oxygen to breathe, or proper tree vegetation for them to live on. So this is the principle of karma, that everything that we are relishing today or enjoying today is yesterday's food, and we need to ensure that first of all we are not exhausting all our credits, and we are also no, increasing our pious credits, if we at all we want to have a good life in this material world, and if we want to stop the whole cycle of birth and death, cycle of karma, then we have to do some those activities that will take us out of the whole cycle of karma. And the way the karma works, as in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is explained, yata kari yata chari tata tata bhavati, that as I do any activity, and akar means no a form or some like a structure. So every action that I do, everything that I say or I breathe in this world forms a akar, forms an impression in my mind. And yata chari, and chari means to move or the direction in which I am going, or the energy. And with every memory that we carry, every impression that is there is also a particular energy, a chari, a movement that is associated with that. Just like a few, if you remember your say 10th class exams, the results that came. Now the memory is there in your consciousness, and if you reflect, along with that memory, there is also a particular energy that is associated with that memory. Either that energy may be you are very happy, that memory, that energy may be that you are upset that you didn't get really good marks. Like I remember I was my school was expecting that I will get a state rank in my 10th because of my past records, but somehow in the exam time I was with bad friends, or maybe I was too overconfident, or I was made overconfident, and I didn't really get that marks. Maybe I got 84% instead of 94 or 95, and I remember I was very disappointed with myself and with the way I spent my exam days. So with that memory, there is an energy that is associated with it. And what Brihadaranyaka Upanishad explains is that energy or that memory that we carry comes back, that any energy that you give out will also be returned back. If you do something positive, it will come back to you. If you do something negative, and so any energy that is either given away, or that is any memory that you do something nice for someone, that memory has to come back to you. And this is so the whole theory of karma is this way by which it is like a echo for what we are speaking, because only then we will be aware of what am I doing. And many of these things that we do, we are not even aware. They all form our subconsciousness. I can ask all devotees, you can just fold your hands like this, and some of you may fold your hands with your right hand above, and some of you may fold like this, and just try to fold the other way your hands, and you will start to feel uncomfortable. You will start to feel I am not so comfortable, although both are similar positions. But my comfortable position is my right on right hand above. And when I do this, even when I was doing this, then I told all of you to fold your hands. It's not that you all chose to do that way. It's a subconscious preference that we are driven by. And where did this come? This came because of the habits and that we have accrued. So in this way, each of us, because of the types of impressions that we carry, we all become different types of personalities, different types of individuals that is having different types of baggages, different types of outlooks. And this is what makes life so difficult, because each one around us just doesn't see the same way that we see. Therefore they say everyone has two eyes, but no one has the same view. Everyone sees life differently, and as part of this, the sessions that I was doing, I was just sharing some of the things from our ashram, how it shows different mindsets, different personality traits that different devotees carry. And of course, the very prominent way that you can see a person's what kind of subtle body, because all this subtle impression, all these impressions that are formed is what forms our mind, intelligence and ego, which Prabhupada is saying here, and as one of our senior devotees called this as MBA, Man, Buddhi and Ahankar. So we all try to get different MBAs, but we already have a MBA, and now we have to make that MBA into something that is meaningful. So the Man, Buddhi, Ahankar is the formation of all the subtle impressions that is formed, and therefore Krishna explains in the Gita that Smriti Bhramshat Buddhi Nasho. As soon as our Smriti, our memory is lost, then our Buddhi is lost, because Man and Buddhi, all our good intelligence is based on the memories or learnings that we have from our past. If we didn't learn, then our intelligence has no way to decipher or choose. So therefore good memories form, or experiences form into good intelligence, and then also we form an identity because of the experiences that we go through, and that is what is ahankar. So the subtle body that we all have is the different personalities, different types of individuals that we are. And so as I was saying, that in our ashram, I just looked in our ashram WhatsApp group, different devotees display pictures, and even now there's on this Zoom call, different devotees are there, around I think around 40 devotees are there. So some have put different mostly because it's all devotees, everyone has put different deities picture, or some people have put their name, and I know some individuals that don't even want to put their name, they just put their mobile model Redmi or MI, because they are so afraid to even reveal their name. And some are there. Of course, most calls that I do on Zoom, I request devotees to show their faces, so that it feels more personal. And I realize that here in Bhagavatam class, many devotees may be cooking or in other ways, so therefore most devotees, almost except me, everyone else's video is off, so that's fine. But just when you see display pictures, then you can see that what is the different types of devotees. So this is a display picture of DP of one of our brahmacharis, and obviously he is very regulated, he is very interested in yagyas, and he is a very nice brahmana, and this is what he wants to portray to the world, or this is what he identifies as one of our devotee brahmacharis has put is what is that called, tagline, or along with your display picture there is a code that you can put. So he has put, just merely a priest, not a saint. He is a very good dresser, very good devotee, but he has put that I am just a priest, I am just a pujari, and it's far away from being actually a saint. So this is one type of picture that I saw on our group. Another is another devotee who is a lot into fundraising, who is a lot into trying to get donations for the temple. So when Purushottam was happening, this is what he had put up as his display picture, that please donate and get blessed in this Purushottam month. Of course it got over just 2 days back now. Another devotee, he had put, he is a very artistic person, he has put this beautiful peacock picture, and most devotees, irrespective of what kind of nature they have, they just put deities picture, either Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadras, or Gopinaths, or Gaurnitais. That's a common trend in devotees, but usually you will see, just based on display picture you can know what kind of subtle body that does a person carry. And most people don't put any picture of theirs, and they say no picture because nazar lagti hai. That just putting your picture there out on the internet, it attracts negative vibrations, and which is maybe true to some extent, yes. That's why I feel very sorry when newly born children's photos are put on Facebook, on that just I had a kid, and I know some people have posted pictures right from the delivery room of their kid being born sometimes or just born. And ideally in the Vedic culture, no, you are not supposed to show the picture, the baby even to the father for quite some time, and to what to speak of all others, because the child is very susceptible. So I feel very sorry for when those devotees put, maybe out of jubilation of blessing that they got, they could always mention that they had a baby, but no need to put picture. So for babies definitely it is an important thing not to just post their pictures, make them a celebrity right at the age of 1, because they get all that energy like Putana. No, Putana like energies may influence them and they may get troubled. But apart from that, now these are different, like so those who are usually introvert type, they don't want to really show themselves to the world. They want to close them, and that introvert can go to an extent where you don't even you either don't put your name on Zoom call, or you don't even come to Zoom call. You think that, oh, if I go there, then somebody may ping me, or they may call, they may note my number or something. Let me watch on YouTube, because on YouTube nobody can actually know that I am there or not there. That's the best. So that is usually the introvert type, those who want to, that's the kind of subtle body they carry. And then there is extroverts who just want to get a chance to just be there in the front. So this is different subtle bodies based on all the different impressions and the influences that they have. Now this just right in our ashram, I can see all types of varieties what to speak of in the world or in different communities. Now can all devotees read out what I posted on next to me in the white, in the black?
Silk.
Silk. Can you say it again?
Silk.
Silk.
Say it again.
Silk.
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 I want to hear everyone. I want everyone to
Silk.
Silk.
what is on the screen.
Silk.
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 What does the cow drink?
Milk.
Milk. Water.
Water.
What does the cow drink? Milk.
Oh, Krishna.
Water.
Water.
Does cow drink milk?
No.
Water.
Cow give me.
Water.
But cow drinks water. What did I do here? I influenced all of you with this similar term called as silk, and when I asked you what does cow drink, although all of you know cow doesn't drink milk, cow gives milk, you just said milk. And this is what is how our subtle body is formed by the impressions that are that are coming from outside. The more you start to see silk, 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 you start to see everything within that context, and therefore immediately you say milk. Of course, there is a whole seminar that I did recently on how does everything how does our subtle body, our personality forms, and how can we take a control on that and not just let people or advertisements, media form us, and then we see that my life is not going the way that I want, because we are letting all these influences onto our subtle body, and then we want to purify it. At the same time we are contaminating it because of the external situations. So this is not the way by how we can come. And just like in a lift, this is a common experience whenever we are in an elevator, there are different types of people that go into a lift. Now There are some, as soon as they go into the lift, they are very impatient. When will their floor come? They are kind of restless. They are just constantly looking at the time and getting very bored, impatient, because they for them that elevator is just a means to get to a place. So therefore they are in a hurry. And there are others in the elevator that are no standing peacefully, and they are looking at the elevator. They are trying to find get a feel of of who is there, and they are trying to talk to others. No, you always see this, that some people just try to strike up conversations, and there are others who are not trying to talk, but they are very afraid if someone will disturb them or talk to them. So they are usually in a corner, uh, and they don't want anyone to interfere with them, because they are afraid that if somebody will come to them and just try to talk to them. And then there is another category who is worried that can the lift hold this much capacity of people, and will the lift go on time? What if current breaks down, electricity breaks down? So all these four personality, all these four types of consciousness, we see that is what is different consciousness levels that Krishna explains: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. All these are different consciousness, different subtle bodies that all living entities can possess. And Krishna explains that no matter what kind of consciousness you are in, you can engage that nature, you can engage that mindset you have, that is subtle body you have, to purify it and directly come to his abode. Therefore Krishna says, Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. That for a Brahmana, Manmana, that just engage your mind in me. And Madhyaji, for a Vaishya, so one who is having Manmana Mad Bhakto, for a Kshatriya, you can administer it well, and try to ensure all the things are going well, try to make the temple a nice place. And Madhyaji, try to worship me, try to offer all things that you have for a Vaishya. And Mam Namaskuru, and for a Shudra who literally doesn't have on a physical level, he can just offer obeisances. And also Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he says about this verse which Prabhupada quotes in the last line of this. He says that when I read this verse, I feel that okay, mana, that to constantly fix mind on Krishna, oh, it is very difficult. To become Krishna's devotee like Arjuna, oh, it's very difficult to become full devotee of Krishna. Madhyaji, worship me, offer yagyas to me, offer everything to me. Oh, that is also very difficult. But Mam Namaskuru, oh, but offering obeisances, oh, this is something physically I need to do. And Krishna is also so liberal that in amidst all, like from mental to something like an activity to a sacrifice, and something so physical as just offering obeisances, Krishna says, even if you cannot do anything all others, at least offer obeisances to me. And if you keep offering obeisances to me, one day just through offering those obeisances, you will realize the depth of Krishna and the beauty of Krishna, and it will connect to Krishna. So therefore Krishna says, Mam Namaskuru, Mame Vaishya Yuktaivam, and offering obeisances has such great meaning. In the book Journey Within, Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he explains the very deep significance and the meaning behind humbling oneself and totally becoming dependent on the Lord as you offer obeisances. And also as you are offering obeisances, it is called as Ashtanga, Ashtanga or Panchanga, and it is not just touching those, but all those 8 faculties or 5 faculties, how you are dedicating in the service of Lord with utter humility. So every physical act, but as you keep doing that more and more, like there was one devotee in Vrindavan who was whose service was just stitch clothes for I think Radha Raman. And as he was stitching clothes for Radha Raman, one day he got this wonderful realization that when you stitch clothes or when you make embroidery, when you look from the bottom, from the below, it looks like a really messy thing, all the embroidery work. There is no pattern, all kinds of loose ends are there. There are a lot of threads, a lot of white material, all that extra support material. Also, it doesn't really look so clean. But then he said, but this whole back end work is only to make the front end beautiful. And when you look at the embroidery, then you see, oh, it is such a beautiful offering. And then he says, so similarly, our life, because we are so absorbed into our life, Krishna, although he is like an embroider, is stitching our life, is bringing all types of beautiful pieces. Some black, some sorrow days, some are very high, some are very bright. But what he is making is a wonderful embroidery from our life and to offer for his pleasure. But many of us, because we only look from the bottom, we think, what is God doing with my life? Why is he just poking so many needles and troubles? But when I look at from his point of view, he is utilizing this cloth, this body that I have, this life that I have, into making a beautiful embroidery that can be used in the service, his service. So a simple act of just stitching clothes, it can give profound realization if you do it with proper consciousness. So therefore Krishna says no activity in bhakti is meaningless or is not valueless. And therefore Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said that even if I can offer one flower to Krishna properly, I think there was somebody who came and bragged to Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur that I did so much service, and then in return all that Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur said is that for so many years I have been trying to offer one flower to Krishna and I have not been successful. And immediately the devotee became very humble and sober, and thinking that devotional service is not just something physical, it has great significance. So every activity that we do, we can see everything that we need to learn in our progress within that, but it is only based on Ata Shri Krishna Namadi Nabhaved Ghayam Indriye Sevon Mukhe Jivado Swayam Eva Suratyaya. Krishna's activities, Krishna's names, Krishna's form, all these cannot be grasped with our mind, with our subtle body or with our external senses. Na bhaved grahyam indriye, the indriyas or the mind cannot grasp it. Seva unmukhi hi jivado, only when we seva unmukha. Now we are seva adarmukha. As soon as seva comes, we try to escape. As soon as there is laddus or something to eat, we are in the first. And sometimes some devotees don't go first in prasadam serving because they know then they will be made as prasadam servers. So they go after 10 devotees go, so that they can have the first plate. So there is so much anti-service attitude in our life. But when we start to see everything as a way to please Krishna, seva unmukha, and starting with the tongue, that how can I use this tongue in service to the Lord, in service to the devotees, not to agitate others, not to bother others, but anudvigna, Krishna says in the Gita that no dvijite loko, na dvojite, that one who doesn't agitate others, not one who is agitated by others. Such a person is Same Bhakta Priya, such a person is very dear to me. So that kind of service attitude starts with the tongue, by how we speak and how do we chant. What are we chanting in our tongue? Are we chanting me, or are we chanting Krishna, Krishna, Krishna? And that way a devotee will become slowly mat parayana. And in the Ayurveda, different in the Western science, different, the personality types and mindsets are being understood, and also in the Ayurveda, because this whole verse is about different types of mindsets or subtle bodies that we possess, and we can experience some of them in our in our dreams, and Prabhupada explains that just like from when we sleep, we identify with some other body, and then when we wake up we again start to identify with this body. Same way when we die, we start to identify with a new body, and we start to disidentify with remove our identification with the old body. So in the Ayurveda, especially in the Charak Samhita and in the Sushruta Samhita, the different mindsets have been described, and all these mindsets are what is the 84 lakh species are there, and these 16 mindsets or subtle bodies, subtle influences that are also there. Some of them are very favorable to pursue Krishna consciousness, and some of them are not so favorable to pursue Krishna consciousness. So I'll just end today's Bhagavatam class just mentioning them, and all these different conditionings, this different impressions that we have. We cannot outright reject them immediately, but start to see how can I purify them, how can I dovetail them. So in the Sattva Guna, there are 7 subtle types of subtle body that we may possess, or we may be influenced by. The first is called as Brahma type, and and those who possess these kinds of minds, these kinds of mindsets or subtle bodies, of course they are all to something to do with the 14 lokas, and these lokas are not just in the out there, but also in our consciousness. All these 14 types are there, and here it is explained as 16. So those who are very much having this Brahma type of subtle body, sharing the traits of Brahma, they are highly self-controlled, they have a love for purity, they are very clean, they are very creative, they have no envy or confusion, they are very emotionally stable, placid. This is a whole article that was published in the Psychology Journal, and I'm just sharing some of that research here. And another type is the Arsha. It's called as Arsha, and Arsha comes from the rishis, those who are intellectual, those who have a great eagerness to study, to do rituals, and they're inclined to celibacy and to sacrifices, and they are not so much eager for just grand enjoyment and all other things. So those are called as the Arshas, and this is a subtle body that we are influenced by. Then there is the Aindra, and this is sharing the traits of Indra. Like Indra is all about authority, trying to control, and having the desire to enjoy, and a lot of insecurity about his position, and wants to earn wealth more and more, but all in a very pious way, not in a asuric way, but in a very pious way he wants to do this. So some of us also carry those kinds of traits, those kinds of inclinations. And then there is a Yamya. Yamya is obviously related to Yamaraj, and what is that mindset that they have? They are very eager to punish others, correct others, or where they are very judgmental, and they follow a lot of rules and regulations. A lot of Yama is there, a lot of rules. Some of those traits are good, some of those traits may be not so good, and this forms a psychic. So this is called as the Yama category. Then there is a Varuna category. Varuna category are those that are very brave, just like water, it can go anywhere. So same way the Varuna psychic, they are very brave, they always want to be pure, but they are also very emotional. They can be, their heart flows like water, and so these are called as Varuna psychic. Then there is the Kauvera. Kauvera is those that are are very much interested to earn a lot of wealth, and they are also very good with accounts and keeping track of how the Lakshmi is being spent. So they are, of course, there are many traits, but I'm just mentioning in short. And then there is the Gandharva, those who are after music and singing. They really cherish that, historical narrations and musical events, instruments, and anything aesthetically pleasurable. So they are very they take a lot of pleasure in that. So these are the seven the subtle bodies that we all possess in to different extent, in that are in Sattva Guna. And then there is the Rajoguna, and in the Rajoguna there is the Asura type, and the Asura type, let me Asura type also, they are also very brave, they are also very innovative, but they are also very cruel. They indulge in a lot of self praise. They are very tough minded, very assertive, but very selfish. So these are the Asura type. Then there is a Rakshasa type, and in the Rakshasa type, very similar to Asura, but they are also very intolerant. They want things immediately. They have great desire to eat meat. They indulge in a lot of sleeping, like Kumbhakarna, and their food habits are very putrid. They always like non-vegetarian foods. So this is the Rakshasa type. And then there is the Paishacha. Paishacha is like a ghostly type. So they have they don't like cleanliness at all. They like to keep things and their body very unclean. They have a lot of illicit desires, and especially uncleanliness and a lot of gluttony, lot of eating, wanting to eat a lot is their trait, that their subtle body. And they are very active to try to meet opposite sex, but when it comes to actually doing something as a service, they take back. So these are and there is a Sarpa category. That Sarpa category is those that have lot of envy, that they carry long history of envy. They don't easily forgive others, and so they become angry like a serpent. They are very sharp in reacting. So are also excessive indolence, too much uh, uh, too much eating is the category. They are trying to devour everything. So that is the Sarpa category. And then there is the Praita category. Praita is something like Preta. So again, all of them look to be very similar, but each one has something more prominent. They don't like to share with others anything. They are very greedy, and they are very inactive in trying to do something, and they are very suspicious. They are very undisciplined. This is the Praita category. And then there is a Shakuna. Shakuna is a bird. Birds are, and those that have this, that where they are very turbulent. They just want to go wherever things are nice. They just want to be with that in that situation, and so they are happy go lucky. Wherever things are nice, they just go there. So they don't take up any commitment. Like the birds, they keep flying. Whichever tree is favorable, they go there. So this is the six subtle bodies in the Rajoguna. And then there is the Pashava category in the Tamoguna. And in the Pashava category, these are traits like an animal, where they lack any intelligence, they have hateful conduct, and of course sexual indulgence, and very much like an animal. And as Mahabharata says, that dharmena hina pashubir naranam, that you become, that at least this 13 are above that category, but this is even lower than that. Then there is the Matsya category. Matsya category is those that like a fish. Fish is also very unstable, great desire for water. They always want to be in the water bodies, and yeah, they are very group dependent, that they can't take any decision themselves. They just follow wherever the group goes, and they are also very tense all the time, like a fish, all the time very much worried. And so this is what is the Matsya category, and the last category in the subtle bodies is the Vanapastya, Vanaspatya, which is the traits of vegetable life, total inertness. You just lay like a couch potato. The word is also there, the couch potato. You just don't want to do anything, and and all these subtle influences are those that are yesterday's food. We have carried all of them in our psychic, in our body, and till we purify all these 16 types and come out and go beyond even the Brahma level, and just want to be a pure servant of Krishna. And the way to do that is to chant the 16 syllable Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sometimes it is asked why this mantra. So this is one of the reasons that is given. There are 16 influences on the subtle, on the mind of all these six, all these 7, 6 and 3, and to remove that there is the 16 syllabled Maha Mantra to overcome that. So thank you very much, and hope this was useful to devotees to go deeper in their Krishna consciousness. And I'll stop here and see if any devotees have any questions. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, such a nectarian class and giving so many realizations mostly about the settling bodies and those all, and how to develop in the Krishna consciousness. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I request all the devotees, if they have any questions or realizations to Prabhuji, they can go ahead.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice. He explained everything. I will have to go on here again. It's very, very nice. All we have nicely categorized and everything explained nicely. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare
I
Krishna.
think.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam, very nice class, very beautiful presentation Prabhuji. I have a question, like all 16 types you showed, I see the one person carries all of them, I think.
Yes, we have been through all the 84 lakh species. So all of those impressions are there inside.
Yes.
So Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartanojana. So we are carrying all of that, and therefore we are influenced by all this. But some of them are very prominent in different lifetimes and different individuals.
Yeah. Yes. Everything is like in little quantity we have, but some are more and some are less. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Danvat Pranam. All praise to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Prabhu, you mentioned all these types of natures, right, of about in the human life. So then, is it that is it specific to any age group that we have, or how does it go? Like, do you have any more idea about that?
The age group, uh, the age also as a according to the age, the mind also starts to think differently. Like like Chanakya Pandit, Shankaracharya says that the Balastavat Krida Saktam, that age also, different, in different ages we start to see life differently. So that also is there. But these are not according to age that is categorized. These are different kinds of mindsets or influences that we carry because of all passing through all that we have passed through. So all those things influence us, and through the process of Krishna consciousness, no matter what age, we can overcome that. And definitely if we are involved into some kind of habit, some kind of conditioning, and more in that particular body, because that conditioning is so much on the surface, it becomes more difficult to overcome that. Therefore, it is said the younger one takes to Krishna consciousness, that easier it is, because those conditionings that you have still not surfaced fully. Otherwise, right from childhood, we will see that some children don't want to be touched at all. Some children want to have people, and if there is no one, they start to cry. So conditionings are there right from the childhood, but they become very more and more prominent as the age grows. So therefore, the younger one starts to practice Krishna consciousness, the easier it is, and therefore the aspect of death is to give us another chance to not be like become cemented in a particular mindset, but to give a fresh chance to the soul to again try to develop his Krishna consciousness. So just like when this computer gets hanged and gets stuck to something, then you have to reboot it. So that's what is death, that once we become totally cemented in something, so then the soul has to take birth, or once the soul has become fully free and and this body is no more capable to handle it, then it goes back. So it is not age, but age, the more old we become, the more we become very much conditioned to a particular mindset. It's difficult to change. So it's easier in the younger age, but otherwise these kinds of influences we can see right from a childhood, because it is with that subtle body, it is not in the gross body, these conditionings.
Thank you, Prabhu. So, like, just going ahead with this question. Is it okay from our part to change that mindset, or should we just have them included a little part of Krishna consciousness in them? Because, as you said, in this age or at this step, it is very hard to like modify everything, right? So, what do you guide in with that sense?
Krishna in the Gita, he he doesn't he tells Arjuna not to give up his nature, but to engage his nature in something that is favorable. Like Srila Prabhupada in Juhu, when Haridas Prabhu had come, he said, Prabhupada, I cannot sleep at night because I've been a thief all my life. I just cannot sleep at night. So Prabhupada told him, okay, then you become night watchman. You guard the temple in the night so that thieves don't come. So then he was very happy because there was something that he could do. And then in the later years, as he dovetailed in serving Krishna with his nature, slowly that he was able to overcome that nature. But initially, it becomes very difficult for us to overcome that nature that we carry. So best is, like Prabhupada said, a drunkard, if he starts to see that this wine is Krishna, then slowly he'll start to focus on Krishna more and the taste of Krishna, and they'll give up the wine. And an immediate replacement, an experience of good things, or in interaction with a sadhu, or a kind of some kind of training period is okay. Like we want to get exposed to, say, temple situation or different things, but beyond that, if a person neglects his nature, then he's truly not able to focus on Krishna. And if he is able to rise above his conditionings, like so many Prabhupada's disciples they were able to rise above their conditionings, although they were brought up in Western lifestyle. When they came to India, they accepted the sleeping on the floor, or all kinds of austerities, because they just by their power, by the power of a pure devotee, and by their sincerity, they were able to overcome. And if so, one should always try to see to jump there, but if it's not happening, then better be situated and start to grow from there. So that's so therefore Krishna doesn't recommend giving up one's nature, but best is to dovetail one's nature that one has, and that will purify.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much, and wonderful, wonderful class, Prabhu. Like, because so many points you have covered in this, it is like I have to listen more again and then take notes from it. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranams. Very, very beautiful class, Prabhuji. We were missing your classes for a long time. Very practically, you told us so many tips whenever you came to for the class. So Prabhuji, these types of subtle bodies, where are they mentioned, Prabhuji? Any particular
As
place?
this is in the Sushruta Samhita and Charvaka Samhita. In trying to heal and deal with the body, I was just there are so many devotees face relationship issues or health issues, different issues, and we try to know the body and know what will work. That is the Ayurvedic type of Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. But beyond this, the subtle body also is formed, and all these discussions that are about the body are not found directly in the Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, and those that need that help, people go to Western psychologists or personality studies. So I was doing a kind of a parallel class comparing Western understanding and Vedic understanding, and in that studies I found some papers on Sushruta Samhita and Charvaka Samhita, where I know in detail all this. You can call them personality types, or you can call them subtle bodies, or conditionings that one has. So I can send that article to those who that want to know, read more about this, that I just shared in short.
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji, it's very, very useful because, in it ultimately you said that how 16 syllable Mahamantra can help us overcome all this and go beyond the modes of nature. It's very helping us in understanding Bhagavad Gita very nicely, Prabhuji. We would like to have that article. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your association. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I like the point you said when Krishna teaches our life, and what we see, it's from the backside we see the embroidery, and from front side it's so nice, and we don't appreciate Krishna looking at front side. We always see the backside, and we curse like, why God did like this and like that. So
Yes, very nice realization that this devotee had just by stitching clothes for Radha Raman. So that's the power of bhakti, that Krishna, if you have sincere desire, then just any simple activity can give you enlightenment.
yes, Prabhuji, thank you. Anybody has any question?
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for your very enlightening class today, and we are very grateful to you. We look forward for your association. If nobody have any questions, we can end the call here.
Hare Krishna.
So
Vancha
let's pay our obeisances to the Prabhuji and all the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Grantat Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, His Grace Braj Mohan Prabhuji ki jai.
Jai.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Hare
Thank you very much, Prabhu.